Alright everybody, what's up? We have a new video series coming out to you guys. This is that video series I was talking about, where we are going to follow a certain somebody through their adventures into the ranked queues, and we're going to see how they do, and we're going to give our analysis on the situation. So right now we are in the very beginning parts of this match, so without further ado, we have a Nasus versus Shyvana going on in the top lane. It's be very interesting. Nasus is one of those champions that can be either really good or he can be way too heavy for his team to lift. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this Nasus is going to play against Shyvana, especially since Shyvana is known to be such an aggressive person. So with that being said, next person up would be the Katarina versus the Fizz. This matchup should go in Fizz's favor. By the way, I guess I should probably say this at the beginning of the videos. This game we are following Killerzwolfe. Wolfie, I guess is the way he would like for us to pronounce it. Killerzwolfe. He is Plat 5. This is a ranked match, and he is playing mid Fizz against mid Katarina, which personally, if I had to give my matchup to, I would definitely give it to the Fizz, just because Fizz versus Katarina sounds really good for Fizz. Then we have in junglers, we have the Elise versus the Jarvan, which both of them very normal junglers, I guess is the best way to say it. At least very strong still in the game even after her nerfs, and with Jarvan being a very strong champion as well. He's always been pretty strong in my opinion, but lately he's been seeing some more love and all that fun stuff. And in the bot lane we have a rare misfortune sighting with a rare, well, not as rare, it's getting a little bit more popular, Sona action going on in the bot lane versus a Tristana who's came into favor lately, and a Nami. So it's going to be very interesting to see how these lanes decide to pick out. I would think Tristana would have a really good matchup, and we see Fizz actually putting down a good amount of harass on that. Interesting thing to point out is if Fizz does decide to route off to a flask and health pots build, while Katarina actually opts for boots and health pots, which I guess is probably one of the better routes that she personally can take as a Katarina. I don't play a lot of mid matchups, so it's one of those things where I'm guessing it's just a startup, but she doesn't really have any early game starting power. She doesn't have anything really increasing her early damage. She just has a lot of sustain with her health pots, which isn't bad because Fizz did the same thing. He went flask, he went health pot, so he's going to be able to sustain through lane through a lot of crap. Now we do have a ping going on from the top lane. It looks like Elise is coming in for the gank onto Shyvana. And this goes back to what I was saying. This could be a really heavy Shyvana right here. And it could be a really heavy Nasus. And it looks like they're going to blow the flash on Shyvana and they're going to back up. But Purple Side is pinging this Elise. They want to take her on. She is going to rappel. She's going to rappel over to the Shyvana. Shyvana has no CC to be able to stop it. She is going to flash the CC from Jarvan, and the Wither does go out into Jarvan, so Jarvan's just going to have to back up. They do end up getting a flash. Fizz is there, though, to try and pick up something onto the Elise. He wants these juicy red buffs. Oh, and the flash, he's going to put the Ignite onto him, and that's going to be a kill, and that's going to go down to Jarvan. That's first blood right there. Personally, if it was me, I would have probably wanted the Fizz to get that, because Fizz would have gotten that, to be completely honest with you. Fizz with double buffs, that would have just made him completely snowball onto this Katarina. But the assist will do. It will still give him gold. Would have been nicer to have double buffs, yeah, because Katarina would have been punished. But the buff refresh on Jarvan isn't a bad thing. It's going to make him be able to snowball, and Jarvan is one of those champions who is able to take a lead and run absolutely wild with it. Those craters are going to be monumentous when he does hit level 6 and he's able to start the dunk squad. So since Elise died, she actually went back, got herself the her Spirit Stone. She got Sight Ward and some health pots, which is a very interesting thing. She really didn't have much else she could buy there with the gold she had. She did take a priority into some vision. Jarvan is going to go ahead and take his moment to back, so it's going to be interesting to see what he decides to back and buy, what item route he would decide to go for. And Shyvana's really not having that fun of a time right up top lane, as Fizz is trying to trade a bit with the Katarina, but it looks like she's going to come out on top via a little bit. Elise is down in the bot lane, And Misfortune is going to try and make an attempt to make it rain, and that's going to fend off the Elise. The slow is just too much for the Elise. Well, Fizz is going to go back. He's going to get double Doran Spring, and he is going to get a Boots. That Boots is going to help him roam out a whole lot better, which is something that definitely he's already shown that he's going to be able to do, is cause some good roams to happen and cause a death happening for the enemy side. And he does have those double Doran rings, so that's going to help him get some more damage as Katarina decides to back and get a Fiendish Codex, which will give her cooldown and stuff like that, which will help alongside with her resets. Just make those resets even that more destructive when she does end up getting them, if she does. Because one big thing about Katarina is the fact that CC does destroy her. Jarvan and Shyvana ultimates, along with Sona just wanting to make everybody pop out some really fresh dance moves, it's going to be a core thing for this fight. Well, when they do start to have their team fights and they start grouping up. And as everything is going right now, it's very passive going on. Misfortune is out farming to Tristana, which is kind of a normal thing, to be honest with you. Tristana's E kind of makes it a little bit harder for her to farm. Sometimes it's advances, because when she last hits, she hits all the minions around her. So it just makes everything a lot more crazy. And the Fizz just barely dodging that cocoon. Jarvan about to come in for the counter game, but they weren't deep enough yet. So they decided to just go ahead and back off. They're going to go their separate ways here. But back to what I was saying, Tristana doesn't really have an easy time farming. A lot of people say that. Her E actually makes it a little bit harder for her to farm, like she would like to. Like, it's hard to freeze lane or anything like that. And most of the time when you play Tristana, you're naturally going to be pushing, which says a lot, seeing this Tristana going against this Misfortune, and Misfortune is doing as well as she is. That's really good for their team, because a strong Misfortune, she's going to be able to sit in the back of the line, and with Jarvan on their side that has a way to lock people down in a set area, Misfortune's going to get off a good channeled ultimate if used correctly. So it looks like blue side was pinging for assistance in the mid lane. Jarvan is pinging the blue buff, so it looks like Fizz is going to get blue buff, which will help him out a whole lot. That means he's just going to jump on the Katarina every time he sees fit. And blue side is pinging this bot lane like crazy right now. They want to get the kill on the Katarina. This is going to be a dead Sona. There's not going to be any way Sona's going to be able to get out there. There's the Ignite getting put onto him. Tristana's going to rock it. Misfortune made the mistake of trying to kite back. Oh, and they actually do not auto. Oh, one more auto would have been just enough for them. They made a huge mistake right there. Fizz is just going to Playful Trickster in there. He's going to scare everybody away, to be honest with you. Because there's not really much that they're going to be able to do to Fizz. Misfortune just needs to back off and just leave, to be honest with you. One bubble, one misplay. This Katarina does have flash, and she's just going to do that. Misfortune should have just left. I don't know why she stayed there. She probably thought that she could have probably gotten an assist or kill or something. But the bad thing about that happening, just period, is everything that goes on. And oh my god, here we go. We got this shark coming out, chum in the water, throwing the fish out. And there you go. That's a buff transfer over to the Tristana. That was actually really poorly played right there. He couldn't see. He didn't have vision on Tristana. He went in for the dive thinking that he overguessed his damage, is what it looked like. He thought he was going to be able to give both of them, it looked like. Just the way he put the shark onto the Katarina, and then immediately went to the Nami. The exhaust was also there. That exhaust, I think, was the biggest thing about that fight, was the fact that his damage just got completely taken down, and he wasn't able to do what he thought he could. And that just led to a bad situation. But this happening right here, Shyvana is going to have to ult out of there, and she's going to be able to get out. Purple side is pinging, saying, hey, let's fight, let's fight. Shyvana says, no, no, no. This is too much for Shyvana, and I agree on that one. This is not a situation that Shyvana really wants to fight. Bot lane needs to be careful, though. Tristana did get a kill and an assist in that fight. Katarina's got 2 kills and an assist out of that whole thing, out of bot lane. 2 kills onto the to the Misfortune and the Sona, and then the Tristana was able to pick up that kill onto Fizz over there. Oh, and Sona making a bad mistake. That was a terrible mistake. Sona got too close. She got focused on just completely doing what she could to make everything happen. But the misfortune makes the play happen. She does get the ultimate off. She gets almost a fully channeled one. The Tristana actually made the mistake of not Wing behind her. She tried to put the W for as much damage as she could, and the Fizz is going to miss his ultimate. He needs to be careful though. There is the cocoon. And there's Jarvan. Jarvan's going to try and make something happen here, and that's going to be a dead Katarina. There's nothing that they're going to be able to do right here. The Elise is going to back up from that because Fizz is right there, and that's a 2v1 that she definitely does not want. So good play right there from the blue side right there. The Shark would have made everything a lot easier, but the Shark can be pretty difficult to land, and alongside that, it's just really just not that easy. Shyvana is behind in farm against the Nasus, which is something I think that Jarvan really needs to look at, because this Nasus can run wild if he's allowed to farm like this. He does have the components for a Frozen Heart, and that honestly destroys a majority of the team that they have. So they definitely, I think the Jarvan should probably show a little bit more attention up to the top lane, but then again, Shyvana's been keeping it pushed. For a majority of the time. She's had this Nasus pushed in, but Nasus is actually staying above her in farm. So when we look at item builds, it looks like Elise is going to go for that Spectral Wraith, or yeah, I think that's what it's called, right? I never built that item. I don't really mess with the AP junglers that much. It's always something that I always was like, oh yeah, tankiness is better than anything. It's an item that fell out of favor for me, so I haven't touched it in a long time. And I'm thinking of Spectral Wave. Is it Spectral or Ancient? Is it Spectral or Ancient? It's Spectral. I was right, guys. GG, well played. But she is going to go for that AP damage build. And here is the Jarvan. Jarvan making a gank happen up in the top lane. Are they going to be able to hold him down and let them be able to do all the fun stuff that they want to do? He is going to be actually too tanky. So Fizz is going to get pinged out inside of their jungle. He is going to recall right here. He needs to be careful. He can get grabbed right here, backing on top of ward. If Elise would have actually waited for a little bit there, Nami was coming up. If they would have chained CC right there, they might have been able to pick up something onto the Fizz. But I do think that he had his trickster up, so that probably was not a kill. But at the same time, Katarina has Ignite and all that cool stuff. And ooh, there's a little bit of lag going on right there. Ooh, choppiness. Ooh, stop that choppiness. Ooh. I'm sorry if you guys saw that right there. That was weird. I had a frame drop right there. Now Fizz looks like he is going to go for that Lich Bane as soon as he can. And I don't know, the bot lane right now, the way it's playing out, like Miss Fortune plays out to team fights really well. But what's interesting enough to me is that she has a Vamp Scepter, she has a BF Sword. And oh, and the Sona is going to get jumped onto again, but there's the exhaust going right onto him. There is the ultimate coming out, but Katarina is here. This is a really bad situation to be in. The flash coming out. Oh, and they're not going to be able to get the kill. One more auto would have sealed the fate right there. Jarvan does pick up the kill on the Katarina. At least grabs the Misfortune. And there you go. Fizz grabbing the kill for himself. There's the Ignite coming out. The Shark coming out. Going to try and get a kill onto Fizz right there. It's going to be a flash playful trickster. They're going for the dive right here. Is the red buff going to be enough to tick away at the hell? Oh, and the shutdown. Oh, Jarvan took a turret shot too money. And here we go. We have the exhaust coming out. Shyvana's just going to teleport away. She's really not having any of this. And there you go. Teleport down for the Shyvana. At least she did use it on a turret, so it wasn't like it was that big of a deal. But she did have to use it as a form of escape. She didn't get to use it to allow her to do Shyvana things. To do dragon woman things. You know what I'm saying. So Katarina went ahead and rushed a Deathfire Grasp. This is pretty good for the Katarina, just because it's going to mean that she's going to pick a target, and she's going to basically chunk its health bar and get those resets. So that's actually really good onto her. But at the same time, Fizz has his core item, a Lich Bane, which for Fizz's anywhere, that's literally you hit Q and W and you're going to be able to do a ton of damage to a lot of people. Next item he's going to go for is more than likely going to be an Hourglass, just because that adds to a lot of safety that you're able to provide with Fizz, and it just gives him a lot of AP as well. Defensive stats, the passive for it's nice, as Sona and Nami are dueling it out a little bit there. And Miss Fortune does do what I thought she was going to do. She does get that Bloodthirster, which I'm really curious about, because Bloodthirst is kind of fallen out of favor as a first item. It's more of a late game pick now. And there we go. There's the Shark. It's going to land onto Katarina. It's not going to be enough, though. And Fizz is still going to get to him. And there we do. We have a gank coming up to the top lane. The Dunk's coming out. Shyvana picking up the kill while at the same time all this is happening. Fizz is dueling it out with the Elise. And he is going to pick up yet another kill. So well played on Killerzwolfe's part. Just being able to play the Fizz, know the limits that he's able to bring. Because of him being able to do that, the big thing that happened is he took out 2 people. And he also demanded attention from the Tristana and the Nami. Because of that, Miss Fortune and Sona, who have been pushing and shoving this lane the whole game, are actually able to get their turret. And that's a dragon for the purple side if blue side is unable to contest. Which Elise is not there, so this should be purple side's dragon. Smite comes down. Nothing blue side's going to be able to do. Unless Jarvan missed Smite and Nami did some miraculous Lemonation stuff where they steal it with the support, or I can't remember who did it. I think it was Lemonation that stole it with the Morgana. I'm trying to remember who did do that in LCS recently. It was very recently. Who knows? It might have been Aframu. He has a thing for stealing neutral camps and buffs and stuff like that. So who knows? Who knows? So as the game is going on, Katarina has stopped moving. Hopefully she did not DC right there. She might have just been typing. She is moving again. So with this happening, Tristana and Nami tried to make a push happen. Not going to be able to make something happen though off of that. And Fizz is trying to make a roam happen onto this Nasus. Nasus does not want any of this. He smells something fishy up here, and he's just not going to deal with it. He's only packed his fish roda today. He didn't pack his sushi kit today. And Shyvana is going to shove out this lane some more. She is still behind in farm by a little bit, but she does have a kill up onto the Nasus thanks to that gank. But Nasus can still come back from that. It's not a huge deficit for him. So one big thing to notice when you're talking about Fizz players, you can match your W on it, but it looks like Mateo at Killerzwolfe here actually decided to go ahead and level up his Playful Trickster, which he did, which is something I'm personally a fan of because it takes the cooldown down from being as high, and I feel like it's the core thing for Fizz to be able to have that Playful Trickster because it allows you to do so much stuff. It allows you to make the enemy so angry. And it just, honestly, I feel like it maximizes your damage earlier because it also gives you wave clear and all that cool stuff. So it's very, I'm really happy to see that. I'm happy not to see not the W rush onto Fizz because it gives him dueling potential, but it doesn't give him wave clear or anything like that. And yeah, it's nice to have that wave clear. The Fizz does have that blue buff now, and it looks like they're going to try and group mid. And I'm dropping frames yet again. This is getting really weird. And it looks like they are going to continue doing a little dance around the mid lane right now. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know why my thing is dropping frames right there. So it looks like he is going to go for that Hourglass, which is a huge thing for him. Jarvan's doing an interesting build for me, where he is looking to... He got a T-Mat, which does give him a lot of damage. That's a lot of base damage off of that. I just find it very interesting to see him going to Elder Lizard and then going into the T-Mat to just give him some more damage. But then again, he is 3-1-2, so he's just looking for a way to basically contribute the kills and assists that he's had and make it so he's able to snowball further into the game. Now, with this being said, it looks like the only people out of purple side that's really had a hard time would be the Misfortune and Sona, which Misfortune, like I said, I feel like her build path is a little wonky. She could go the IE route and it would turn out a whole lot better in my opinion. I think there's a lot of things that would have been better over the BF rush. And there we go, we have the Demacia being screamed out. Nasus is trapped in the crater and they're going absolutely crazy from there. Is the ghost, there's the dragon coming out. Jarvan is not tanking it. Shyvana is going to tank the turret, but Jarvan is going to take the kill, which is all fine and dandy. And it looks like Jarvan and Shyvana are just going to be able to take this turret right here. Well, Shyvana is going to pack, which is the smart thing.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
So they're going to go ahead and do all that, and that's a turret and a kill for the Jarvan right there. So Jarvan definitely becoming really big really quickly in this game. But yeah, but like I was saying, I feel like the Misfortune could be building a little bit better, just to maximize her early game damage as well. I feel like Bloodthirst is more of a later game item for ADCs. It does give you a lot of damage, it does give you lifesteal, so it's not like it's terrible, but there's better buys. At least there's better buys in my eyes. I just feel like IE Rush is just about basically one of the best things you can do on Misfortune. Alright, and while we get back to the game here, it's like Fizz is having some fun with some Katarina. Katarina's not having that. It's a mid and support fight. And Shyvana looks like she's actually starting to bully the Nasus around now, which is good. This is exactly what the Shyvana needs to do. Shyvana has caught up in farm by a little bit, and that's what they really need to continue doing. It's just making sure that Nasus is kept in check. They can definitely win a 4v4. The Shark does miss, though. The flash over the tidal wave. And there's the ultimate coming out. The Crucible is going to save Nami's life, it looks like, as Nami goes really deep right there. But they do get the turret. They end up coming out on top, and they're just going to back up. They realize that they are low. Tristana is off to the wing. Getting a kill onto Tristana would not be a good idea. The big threats that purple side really needs to look out for is the Katarina and the Tristana. To be completely honest, they're just really scary. They have resets, and they're going to be able to pump out so much damage because of said resets. Shyvana is going to walk right by that pink ward. She is going to clear it, which is really good. That's going to go ahead and kill that pink ward and make it so they're going to be a little bit more blind when it comes out to it. Because when it comes down to ward vision right now, purple side has that dragon area completely warded out for their cause. As Fizz is bottom, this could be a really dangerous play to have happen. The exhaust is going to go out onto Katarina, but Katarina did mess up her combo right there. Fizz is into the fight. Misfortune does pick up the kill on the Katarina. And there is the Shark coming in, chumming the water. Going to do out a lot of damage, but he is going to be trapped by the bubble. Misfortune is going to pick up yet another kill. Jarvan is in the back of the fight. He could come in at any moment he wants to, and they might have actually been able to take control of that fight. I'm very interested to see why Jarvan stayed so far back for so long. If he would have actually just came over the wall, he probably could have grabbed the Nami, Evelyn. I mean, not Evelyn, Elise. I always call Elise Evelyn for some reason. But he probably could have gotten a good QE or EQ and really been able to actually save Fizz. If Fizz was actually able to stay alive for a little bit longer, he could have pumped out a huge chunk of damage really quickly onto Tristana, which would have been disastrous for the blue side, because that would just left Nami there to kind of, you know, fight the Misfortune and the Jarvan, and that matchup would never end well. It looks like top lane, like I said, Shyvana's starting to bully Nasus now. Shyvana is ahead of Nasus in farm now after those 2 ganks, and she is starting to go the bully route. Which Fizz is looking for a kill. very dangerous game he's playing. He does have his hourglass, and he does have alacrity boots, which is going to increase his movement speed a bit, which is going to make it a lot easier for him to catch targets that are in the wrong position. Like this Nasus, for instance. Nasus is in a really bad spot. He's getting thrown every which way. He does get thrown out of the CC from Jarvan, but that's no big deal because Jarvan, the dump master, is going to take that kill happily. I wonder if in Demacia they have like a Duncan Demacia or something like that. A lot of dunking goes on over there. And Tristana laying out a big amount of damage onto the Tristana really quickly right there. They really need to be careful. Late game Tristana is a terrifying thing. Fizz is spotted out. They do not want Fizz to be able to catch somebody out. That's really where Fizz's strengths lie, is he's able to just ambush somebody and completely take him out. Fizz is in a bad spot, and Fizz steps completely out of place. That was a terrible spot for Fizz to be in all honesty. That was probably the worst. And now Jarvan looks like he's going to pay for it. Yep, and that's going to be a death onto Jarvan. And blue side is going to take Baron off of this, it looks like. They don't have any threats to their side besides the Shyvana, Miss Fortune, and Sona. But they still do need to be careful about this. They do know that the Baron is being done right now. But at the same time, Miss Fortune has to be really careful not to get nuked out, because the biggest thing that she's going to be able to do is be able to use her ultimate across the wall. And it looks like she's just going to put out a decent chunk of damage, but it's not going to be enough to do anything, because there's the Katarina. That's what I was talking about. The Katarina, they got too close to the wall. She can jump over walls, guys. It is a thing. So that was actually a mistake that was caused by the Fizz there, I want to say. Fizz went too far out right there and just got completely caught. He didn't respect the cocoon. And honestly, they just chained the CC together, and Tristana has so much damage that she's able to really destroy his health bar really quickly. So that was a bad play, and what led up to it was the Jarvan being out of position as well. If Jarvan wasn't where he was, if he decided to take any other route, he would have been fine. But instead of taking that, he went the route where the blue side was able to see him, and they gave chase where they were able to get a cocoon off onto him. So Jarvan dying and Fizz getting caught like he did definitely was a huge turning point for this match, because now blue side is does have an upper hand right now. And that was really weird. The pink ward did not get vision of that one ward, actually. It was just right outside of its range just because of how close it was put to the wall. That's pretty funny, actually. So blue side definitely, they're still behind in gold, but this is a very even match. It can swing anyway. Baron buff is on the blue side, so right now they do hold advantage. Like I said, I feel like Katarina and Tristana are going to be really the main players in this fight. I don't think Nasus is going to have too much of an impact in this game, at least not as it is. If it continues to the game continues to prolong, we could see the Nasus begin to take effects into the later stages of the game. But right now, Katarina and Tristana are the ones getting into their late game phase. And that's the dangerous position to be in. So right now, Jarvan's actually going straight damage, it looks like, which I'm not really too approving of, to be honest with you. I mean, it's good. He's going to be able to do a lot of early damage, and he is going to be able to snowball appropriately because of it. But at the same time, he's going to get knocked down really quickly. The only person that they have that's tanky on their side is going to be the Shyvana. Shyvana is going to be a tank to be reckoned with, but she's been more focused on trying to make sure Nasus isn't able to do Nasus things. The purple side does see the dragon going down right here. There's a cocoon. They're going to peel off of the dragon. The ultimate coming off. It's not going to be a fully tender ultimate. They do need to be careful of the Fizz right here. The smite comes down. Jarvan is able to pick it up. And Killerzwolfe is trying to see what he can make happen. The Nasus is back there. He is going to go ahead and get exhausted. But this is a bad situation for the Nasus to be a part of. This teleport does come out. And that was a really bad fight for the blue side right there. They were just way too spread out. And honestly, Fizz is able to take advantage of that, where he was able to get into the pit. He was able to hourglass and just negate all of Katarina's damage. And while this is all happening, Tristana has no choice but to back away from him. And Fizz taking way too much damage right there from the AA from Tristana. They need to be careful. They're not going to die to it, but Tristana does damage. Those autos of her pack a punch. Shyvana really deep here, trying to get this turret here. But I do think she realizes that this is not the fight that she wants. She's going to be able to W out though. It's no big deal. She'll be completely fine. She does have Dragon as well, so she can just ult over walls or ult away to make sure that everything's taken care of, to be honest with you. So it's no big deal. She does do a lot of damage though to that top turret, that top inner turret. That's a huge thing right there. Shyvana is building full tank right now. It looks like she's going to go for a Banshee's build, which isn't a bad idea since Tristana does do magic damage. Katarina does a good amount of magic damage. Elise did go the Wraith route, so she is going to do a good amount of damage as well. So really, a lot of the people on their team do magic damage. I think Aranduin's might be a little bit better, but the Banshee's build works very well as well, especially since the unique passive it gives off, basically making whatever the first spell they decide to try and put on Shyvana useless. And right now, the game's going kind of as I would think it would be, to be honest with you. Very slow paced. Battles are happening around objective points, and I think that's just how I think this fight's going to continue going. These fights, they're happening around objectives, and they're all going on at, I don't know. I think both sides are thinking that they have an advantage, and it turns out that they don't. Shyvana almost getting caught out right there, by the way. Took a very risky route. This is going to cause Shyvana to have to back up, or just, she could stay and try and fight a bit, but she does not know where the rest of their side is, and Nasus does have some stacks, so he's going to do a lot of damage. But while this is all happening, bot lane, they are jumping on this inner turret, which is really good on their part, because it's going to take purple side a while. And Katarina is off in the side. Katarina could get bopped if she tried to come in from that direction, but she decides that, hey, I don't feel like being that bop it toy. So they're gonna, she's gonna just leave that alone. So Shyvana is up in the top lane, trying to keep Nasus from doing Nasus things. She's asking, who let the dog split push? Who? And, ooh, and a wrong step for Jarvan. Jarvan gets blown up. His health bar gets completely taken out, but one dunk from him, and that's going to really put him in a bad situation. Katarina is going to go down. Sona's going to pick up the double kill there. And honestly, all the damage being taken out right there. Shyvana just needs to waste time, to be honest with you. Shyvana can get away from this Nasus really easily. Nasus does not have teleport, but she stops him from backing. It's not really anything that he's going to be able to do. This is going to be an inhib for the purple side. So they are pinging for that mid inhib. They do not have a tank there. And that turret is not low at all. Nami and Katarina and Tristana will be up at that time. The lane is pushed not in their favor either. So they're going to have to make that a work in progress. Baron is back up. So they could make the decision to try and go for the Baron. It's going to be very interesting to see what they do. Shyvana's going to notice that she's going to die. She knows that she's dead. So she's going to actually just go ahead and take the turret and call it that. But blue side is going to ping out the Baron again. This could be a really risky play because Jarvan is still up. I don't think they want this. A lot of blue side's jungle is warded, but they do not see that they are going towards the Baron pit right now. And like I said, with Jarvan still up, this is really risky. They really don't want to do this, in my opinion. Especially with that bot inhib down, somebody's going to have to react to that. So it looks like Nami is recalling, possibly to just try and halt that wave. But nobody else is taking into account the fact that there is that bot wave. There is a super wave coming into the base. And while this is all happening, Purple side does have a Baron that they can go ahead and grab if they do not have anybody to go back. Tristana is going to be the one to go back. This could be really bad. They are going to do Baron. Here comes the teleport from the Shyvana. Tristana is not there. This could be really bad for the blue side. And Elise is going to be able to negate some of that damage from the Fizz. And there you go. There's the Baron buff going on to purple side. It's a clean Baron. What a great play right there. There's the Shark coming out. The Flash Shark. Tristana is going to be able to avoid it. And he is going to have to Hourglass right there. Very smart move from the Fizz. Taking advantage of all the damage that he's able to put out. And Shyvana is going in really deep with the damage. The ultimate coming out. Getting out a decent amount of damage. Not too much though. Not the maximum amount of damage you could see from it. And Nasus is getting destroyed right here as Miss Fortune is going to pick up the kill. Elise is going to grapple down. She's going to die as well. But Katarina is here. Katarina can do some stuff right here. She can get some resets. She's not going to be able to get too much done though. She's just going to take out Fizz. As Miss Fortune is still alive along with Shyvana, Jarvan, and the Sona. And this is going to be GG right here actually, it looks like. As Purple side decides to take out the Nexus. Yep, and that's going to be GG. So, great job by the Purple side. I feel like the key turning point in this match was just the push that happened up in the bot lane. Shyvana was able to take care of Nasus, basically keep him entertained. While this is all happening, all 4 members from blue side besides the Nasus are sitting trying to figure out if they should go and fight Shyvana. While this is all happening, there's a bot lane pushed in and their whole team is there besides Shyvana, and they're able to just take 2 turrets and an inhib. I mean, that honestly, the fact that they're able to get pushes off like that with them being distracted as such, really, I feel like sealed their fate as soon as they got that inhib. Because of the inhib, they weren't able to go grab Baron because they did not the blue side did not pay attention to the minion wave pushing in from the bot lane, and I feel like that was really the biggest deciding factor because purple side was able to get a Baron really cleanly because Tristana actually backed right as they went for Baron. Tristana should not have backed. She should have stuck around. I think they actually waited until Tristana had backed to start Baron, but the Nami, they should have taken care of that wave preemptively before they even decided to make the Baron call. But yeah, that was a really close game, really good matchup. It was close all the way out until the end, until that final fight came about. So, without further ado, guys, if you guys enjoy this series, be sure to give a like. And remember, the rules of the series is basically, I want your IGN, your region, and your rank. And, like I said, this has been a ranked match. The person we were spectating today was Killerzwolfe, which did a great job. He had a lot of misplays. For instance, the misplay that happened earlier on in the game where he got caught out of position, which I will go ahead, I think I can go ahead and rewind to that. I'm just going to rewind to that real quick and see if I can get to that. Can I find it? I'm trying to find it right now. Hold on. It's in here. It's right when they got their first Baron. So when was this? When was this? When was this? Okay, so it's right there. So, okay, so this is what happens right here. Alright, I want everybody to see right here that the Fizz is right here. Alright? Jarvan is over at the white, and Shyvana is over in the top lane. Then the closest person to him is a Sona and Miss Fortune, which are right here. So as this plays out, they're kind of going back and forth inside of their jungle. And he decides, alright, so Jarvan's here now. Miss Fortune's right here. Sona's here though. So what ends up happening was this was a blunder of miscommunication right here. He shouldn't have been right here when he was, because this was warded right here. They took the time to go ahead and ward it. So they knew he was roaming around up here. And what ended up happening is he actually gets cocooned right here. Katarina is back here to follow up. She left the top lane to come over here. And then there's also the Tristana right here. Now, it looked like he was going to go ahead and try and nuke the Tristana's health bar, which he could have done. But at the same time, this play was so risky, and it almost had a potential to cost them the game right there. And with Jarvan continuing to farm the wolf camp, Shyvana's up top. Miss Fortune is so far out of range, it's not even funny. And then the Sona is not in any range to provide any peeling whatsoever. So as the fight continues, you can see his health bar just gets completely melted. And Jarvan takes this route. I do not know why he decided to go the same route that Fizz decided to go through. This was a huge mistake right here. If he would have gone away from this route and he went up and above, he would have been fine because they were going mid. You could see they turned around the second they saw him moving this way. If he would have went up with the Miss Fortune, he actually probably would have been completely fine. But because of this, you can see he tries to get away. The red buff does slow him, so that allows Elise to catch up. A cocoon at the farthest range, basically. And Katarina is able to pick up the kill. And I feel like that was the biggest mistake that he made this match. I'm going to have a moment of reflection at the end of every match and just kind of show what I feel like was the biggest mistake. And to me, honestly, that could have been a game-losing mistake right there. That could have completely cost Purple Side the match right there. So definitely, they made a great job though to make the comeback where they did. And the screen says victory for a reason. So, I mean, there's not really much else to say past that. Yeah, I mean, it's going to... It says victory for a reason, so... That was a great job. I don't know why I put that back to play the double kill again. But anyways, guys, like I said, if you enjoyed, go ahead and leave a like, drop a sub if you haven't already, and drop your name in the comment section, or send me a message if you don't want everybody to know what your cutie wootie IGN is. This has been Birdman speaking, and thank you guys again for watching. Peace.